Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in to another video. I am finally recording a vlog with the new camera. So got the Osmo Pocket 3, got it set up here with a mount in the car, and really don't even have a whole lot going on today, but just wanted to take some footage with the new camera. So hopefully you like it. Let me know how you feel about this versus the kind of footage on previous vlogs that were all shot on my iPhone. This will be the first vlog that is fully shot on the new camera. So for today's video, before I go any farther, please, if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on post notifications, share the video, drop a comment, really appreciate it. Excited to be able to put another video together. I'm going to go over a few things, 5 things that I love and 5 things that I hate about my car. For sure, 5 things that I hate, I'm grasping at straws. There's not much that I really have to complain about with this car. If you've been following along up to this point, you know that I had an M5 previously. I made the unfortunate mistake a little over a year ago to trade that for a Tesla, and after about a year in the Tesla, just had to get back into an M5. So I've actually been driving an M5 for closer to 3 years, even though I've only had this particular car for about 3 months at this point. I felt like I've got a good enough handle on things. I can definitely share some of my favorite things about the car. Those are actually pretty consistent with my favorite things about my first M5, and a large part of the reason why I wanted to get back to an M5 in particular, not just out of the Tesla. And then, you know, you can always nitpick and find a few things that you don't care for in a new vehicle. So I'll share those things as well. I did actually take some notes, so I'll reference those. But the very first thing that I just absolutely love about the M5 is just the power. The power's there. If you want to go, you just go. You just hit the pedal and go, and it takes right off. It doesn't matter if you're at a standstill. It doesn't matter if you're already on the highway and fully at speed. The power is just there. And the really nice thing about the M5, obviously it's a V8, it's also a twin turbo, but the way they have it designed, there's no turbo lag. You don't have to brake boost and wait for the turbo to kick in. I don't even think they have an anti-lag feature. You just hit the gas and go. And it was like that in my first M5. It was like that, it's been like that in this car too, and I just absolutely love it. I'm going to flip-flop between things I love and things I hate. So that's the thing I love the most. The thing that I hate the most, and this is definitely a hate, is just maintenance and repair. You got to pay the BMW tax, and you got to pay it all the time, right? If you saw some of the previous videos, even as soon as I got this car, it was overdue for some maintenance. It had a couple of repairs that were needed. But anything and everything, it comes with a price tag. When I bought my first BMW, when I was signing the paperwork, the guy made the joke that BMW stands for bring money with you to service. And that was spot on. I would completely agree. It's not cheap. Although, having said that, the car's been pretty dependable. My first M5 was pretty dependable. Before that, I had a regular 5 Series. That was pretty dependable as well. Never really had any major issues or repairs that were needed. And a couple of things that were needed definitely have to be done at the dealership. But there's some stuff you can work on your own if you're pretty handy. I like to think I am. So between a mix though, but even when you're doing the repairs yourself, the parts aren't cheap. And if you're anything like me, anytime something does break, you don't want to just replace it with the OEM. I always look for whatever the performance upgrade is, and might as well get an upgrade if I've got to fix something anyways. Thing I love, number 2, I'm literally just cruising down the highway like this is a regular car. It's extremely drivable. It's not like so much of a sports car that you can't daily drive it. I know there's a lot of people that have M cars that don't daily drive them. I don't have this as like a third car, just a weekend car, or just a race car. It is my daily driver, and that's just a really nice feature that you get all of the fun of having an M car, but you still have the ability to just daily it. As I do mods and upgrades, it'll be louder and that'll be fun, but it'll still be my daily. Thing that I hate, number 2, and this is also definitely something I'm used to at this point, but it is a heavy car. The power to weight ratio works. It's still fast. It's still responsive. It's got great traction. It's easy to drive, but especially if you're in the corners and different things like that in tight spaces, you can feel the weight of the car. It's not a small car. It's not massive like a 7 Series or anything like that. My wife's car is an Escalade, so it feels a lot smaller than that, of course. But compared to like an M2 or an M3, those are much smaller vehicles, and they feel more like go-karts. I've never had one of those to drive on a daily basis, but I've been behind the wheel of a few friends that have them, and they definitely feel a lot more nimble. They feel a lot more like driving a go-kart, and this car does feel a little bit heavy. Thing that I love, number 3, is it's kind of a sleeper. There's a lot of people that don't really know what an M5 is. I pull up to stoplights all the time, and Mustangs or Corvettes will, rev it up and want to go. They don't really know kind of what's under the hood unless they're BMW fans. So that's kind of fun, just to be a little unassuming. It's not so low that you can't get in and out of it. It doesn't really look like a race car, but it also looks fun and aggressive, I suppose, but not so much so that everybody knows. Hate number 3, I don't know. I don't really care that much about gas mileage. I didn't buy this car for amazing gas mileage. I'll commonly make the joke that it's not about miles per gallon, it's about smiles per gallon. And when you're driving this car fun, it definitely gets horrible miles per gallon, but you get a few more smiles per gallon in those situations. That also kind of made my love list, because while I'm cruising down the highway, I'm getting 28 miles to the gallon. And if you go for a longer drive on the highway, it'll be in the mid to high 20s if you're not really getting on it. And if you are getting on it and having fun, it's down in the teens or even the single digits, depending on how much fun you're having. So anyways, it'll drive past anything but the gas station. And so that's number 3. Number 4, for things that I love, is just the interior and the technology. My first M5 was a 2018, so pre-LCI. This is a 21, so it is the LCI. What that translates to is it's got a bigger screen. It's got a more fully digital dashboard. It's got active and adaptive cruise control. It's actually on autopilot right now. I am still obviously paying attention while I'm driving, but it's keeping in the same lane for me. So it's got a ton of technology built right out of the factory, which is awesome. It's got CarPlay. One big thing that I really like about the LCI versus the pre-LCI is full screen CarPlay. On my first M5, it only took up about 60% of the screen for CarPlay, and then the other 40% was like the dual display. On this car, the LCI version, that's optional, and the default is for it to be on full screen CarPlay, which is pretty fun. Just in terms of the ability to actually use CarPlay and interact with it, you get a much broader interface there. And then the seats are super comfortable. It's got massage seats. They're heated and cooled. It's hard to complain about that. Everything is just very comfortable, not like an old school race car. Number 4 is going to be issues with the technology. So this is number 4 on the list of things that I hate. Issues with the technology. The menus, they go pretty deep. It took several hours for me to actually go through all of the menus and adjust all of the settings to the way that I wanted. And this is my third 5 Series, so I'm used to the iDrive interface. I didn't have anything really new to learn from that perspective. This is a newer version. And also all 3 of my 5 Series have had a different version of iDrive. I don't even begin to know what all of them are. I want to say my first one was iDrive 5, the second one was 6, and this is 7. I might be totally wrong on that. But each iDrive kind of builds on itself. So the foundation is the same. So I guess I'm somewhat familiar with it from that perspective. But like my wife, whenever she gets in the car, like she finds the menus to be extremely confusing and hard for her to figure out how to adjust whatever she wants to adjust. And again, it's a blessing and a curse to have all the technology. The other piece that I'll throw in with things that I hate on technology, on Jess's car, whenever you put it in reverse, the backup camera comes on by default, automatically shows you a view of what's behind you. This car does that too. So I'm cool with that. But then in most other cars that I've driven that have the 360 camera, if you go from reverse to drive, it automatically switches from the rear view camera to the front view camera. This car has the 360 camera, and it has the cameras in the front, but when you switch from reverse to drive, you actually then have to change the settings on the camera to show the front-facing camera. Again, not a big deal, and I'm used to it. Both of my last 5 Series were like that as well, but I do find that to be quite annoying. That's probably the number 1 thing that I actually complain about when I'm driving this car. Number 5 of things that I love is just how amazingly this car handles with the all-wheel drive, the X-Drive system, and then also still has the ability to switch to rear-wheel drive. I think that's a really cool feature. We don't get a ton of snow in Cincinnati, but it doesn't matter if the roads are great and you're just going down some curves and want the all-wheel drive for that, or if it is raining and a little slick, or God forbid you're driving in the snow. Just having the all-wheel drive, even with all the power that this car has, it's very sticky. It stays glued to the road. It goes where you tell it to go, and that just gives you a lot of confidence when you are driving and a lot of comfort to not have to worry about going sideways or losing control. But then also you just hit a couple buttons and you can switch to rear-wheel drive, turn all the traction control off, and have a lot of fun. Of course, if you're in Mexico or on a closed course where everything is safe and there's no danger or anything like that. The number 5 thing that I hate about this car is if you haven't driven an M before, you probably can't really appreciate this, because I didn't appreciate it until I had an M car. But it almost just kind of ruins driving other cars. The only other car that I really drive on a regular basis is Jess's Escalade. So obviously driving the Escalade feels like driving a boat compared to this. But I've got a few other friends that have other sedans or fun cars. Drew has a 911. Those are all fun cars to drive, but I'm always thinking of it in relation to this car. Actually, a couple years ago, Jess got me and some of the other guys in the family a day at the racetrack driving exotics, and so we got to drive like a Ferrari, we got to drive a Lamborghini Huracan, a 911. We got to drive them on a racetrack, and for sure those cars are amazing, and that was such an awesome experience. We all really loved that day, made a lot of great memories and had a lot of fun. But when I compare it to driving this car, which is just my daily driver, it didn't feel like it was that much of a step up. So and again, I know I'm kind of grasping at straws there. This car just kind of spoils any other car that you might really want to drive. It's fun, and everything else just feels slow after you drive this. That's really all I got for the 5 things I love, the 5 things I hate. If you have an M5 or another M car, I would love to hear what your thoughts are. If you've ever driven an M5, and you think there's anything I'm missing on things that I love, do you disagree with me on any of the things that I said that I hate? Drop a comment. I would love to hear that. Would I buy this car again? Yeah, this is my second M5, so I absolutely would buy this car again. I have thought that at some point I would like to get an M3, just to have the smaller car that feels more like a race car. It doesn't have as much power. The power to weight ratio I think is about the same, but I think I would like to add an M3 at some point. But for sure for my daily, the M5, I don't think you can beat it. I think my next new car will also be another M5, and I plan for that to be my daily for many years to come, and excited for that. I think that's probably going to be it for the video today. I don't know how long all of that was, or if that's enough to fill up a full vlog. It might end up being a shorter vlog, but I just wanted to kind of check out the new camera, see how that works. Hopefully it's not too shaky. It does have a gimbal built in, so we'll see what that looks like. But I think it'll be great for point of view drives. With the mount that I've got, it's also good for just being able to kind of talk while I drive. And so I think that's going to wrap it up here for today. Really appreciate you sticking around. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Well, before I go there, I've got a lot of parts at home, and I'm looking forward to having the time to install them. I've got a few aesthetic parts. I got the front mount intakes, so I'm looking forward to getting into all of that. Hopefully that will be coming soon. Things have just been really busy with work and family around the holidays and all that kind of stuff. I've got a few other things that I just kind of need to get finished up in the house before I have time to just spend in the garage working on the car. But hopefully I will be getting to that soon, and I will definitely vlog that as well as I kind of work through unboxing and then getting those things installed. So hopefully some more fun videos coming up soon. But for today, just going over the 5 things I love, 5 things I hate so far. Thanks again for sticking around. Stay driven, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.